Plus, an acclaimed sports writer shows us how Sacramento managed to keep the Kings. We'll talk to him about his new book, Saving Sacramento.
Well, 2002 was an amazing year for the Sacramento Kings. Fans watch as the beloved basketball team almost made it to the NBA Finals.
The Maloof family helped build a team that Sports Illustrated called the greatest show on court. But it didn't come without some trials and tribulations. A new book out tells the story of how a small market city accomplished the impossible by keeping the Kings in Sacramento. It's called Saving Sacramento, a story of fans, sports, and politics. The author, Jason Coldiron, joins us this morning to talk about the book. Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. One of my live streams is writing this book, and another one is talking to you guys.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
I feel like there should be a government subsidy to buy about 1 million copies and just hand them out to anyone who comes through the Sacramento International Airport, because no one outside of our city understands exactly how important this moment was and exactly how long we've been building up to what's been happening this past year.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a story that's been, 20 plus years in the making, and the last few years especially, we came this close several times, and really Seattle quite possibly could have gotten them away from us, but the city stepped up, and there's heroes in this city. Our amazing mayor Kevin Johnson, and people like Carmichael Dave and Grant Napier, the efforts that they've made, and all the Sacramento fans. Basically, what the book spells out is how we gave Kevin Johnson the ammo that he needed to go to the NBA to allow Commissioner Stern to help us keep the team here, which is what they really wanted.
Well, we were on pins and needles for such a long time, and but I'm wondering, you've written about sports and followed the Kings, and you're a personal fan as well as writing about them professionally. At some point, did you think this was a done deal, that they were leaving? Whether it was Anaheim, whether it was Virginia Beach, I'm not so sure, but Seattle, did you feel like this was a done deal?
Virginia Beach was never realistic.
Right.
Seattle was to a point, just because, as the book talks about, that's a city that had lost their team before, and there was a certain line of thought that thought the NBA might want to right that wrong by giving them. To answer your question, in spring of 2011 with Anaheim, that's when I was scared the most. That was a really dark time for me. Again, it talks about in the book that Anaheim really wasn't that realistic, but at the time it sure felt like it was.
Well, Seattle to me, maybe just because it was more recent, and except I have a good friend who works in television up there, and they as far as they were concerned, this was done.
Yeah.
This team was going. We were losing that team.
Well, they didn't have Kevin Johnson, and they didn't have Carmichael Dave, and we do. So that's why we still have a team.
But there's a thing, even going back to the Anaheim situation, I was living down in Los Angeles, and I really thought that was a done deal, because Anaheim had already proven they could support a basketball team. They had Clippers and Lakers games down there at the Arrowhead Pond for years, and they sold out every single time.
Right.
So I was like, there's a void there. They want a basketball team. They want to go. I thought that was going to be the end of it.
Well, there's a lot of reasons that would have made sense, but the truth is that the NBA did not want a third team down there, and David Stern, the commissioner, again, who arguably the greatest commissioner in the history of all sports, he didn't want that to happen. And still, the Maloofs had decent grounds and decent reason to try to make that happen. But again, the fans and the people in the city, people like Napier and Carmichael Dave, we gave Kevin Johnson the ammo he needed to go to David Stern and say, look, taking this team away,
it's a good point.
Not the right thing.
As I was reading one review that said, it almost seems like a made-up story when you talk about the way the Sacramento fended off these buyers and these team stealers. Is there anything that, having researched along the way, that you think people who are not on the inside or real close to it would be surprised to know? Like, is there something that maybe a lot of people just don't realize about this whole fight?
I would say that a lot of people just don't understand how much the city rallying really did make a difference. The fact, once this happened, we filled the street with 15,000 people to celebrate. The fact that we had just the support here and the love for this team is just, it's cool. People outside of the city just can't understand how much some of us really love this team.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there should be some sort of a federal government subsidy to buy about 1 million copies and make sure that everyone who comes through our airport, you get this. Along with your boarding pass or your baggage claim, you get this book to find out exactly what we went through here in this city and continue to go through, because we're not quite finished yet. Jason, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the book, and thanks for being a fan.
Very cool. We'll have more Good Day coming up after the break. We got to go.
We'll be right back. Okay.